I'm a dumb, southern, Jersey, mullet-wearing retard. I'm an inbred, and I smell. I could never sleep over when I had sex. I always had to leave that night. Big old retard I am. Smart Jen. Yeah, the boys liked her.
Crazy Jen due to come on the show in a little bit, Fezzy. She's making her run at being a reality TV star. I've been watching Big Brother this summer, and I've been watching the Last Comic Standing. I'd rather watch Crazy Jen than anybody on either one of those shows.
I saw Last Comic Standing where they brought the Cro-Magnon guy back into the house. And it's like, all right, this was a waste of a week. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, the whole thing is not really strong this year. Notice no one's even talking about Last Comic Standing. It had some heat last year.
Well, last year, everyone at least knew the name Dat Fan.
Yeah.
You know, that was kind of like a punchline to people.
For some reason, well, here's the other problem with Last Comic Standing. If you take like an American Idol, you see the people go through changes, and their life is changing, their look changes. The comics stay exactly the same and do the same act over and over. So it's not there for you. But to go to show you that they bring back on the little guy that you brought up, that they brought back on the show with the long hair.
Jay London.
Is that America is different than you and I. We would never vote for Jay London to come back on because we felt sorry for him. We would pick the best comic. Instead, America goes, oh, isn't that sad? He's a really bad comic. Let's give that fan the deal. I just have nothing in common with people who watch television. It's sad to say, but it's true.
That's Rupert getting his $1 million when he didn't win Survivor twice.
Yeah, but at least with Rupert, you went, well, he was a survivor. You know what I mean? As far as the survivor part, you could root for Rupert. But here's a show about comics, and they keep picking the worst comics to bring back. It's against everything that they try to do with the show.
I thought for sure that Ant was going to come back into the house.
Ant had the best set, to tell you the truth. But he was so unlikable on the show that he finished third, and he was shocked by it. But I don't know whether it was the editing or he really is not such a nice guy. They didn't vote for him. But I'm not saying I'm a big Ant fan, but I watched that. He had the best set by far, finished third.
I've never understood on that show why they don't take the time, when they're on TV and they're in the house, when they're not performing, why they don't take that time to perform a little for the camera.
That's what the one guy did that you don't like.
Todd Glass?
Todd Glass, yeah. He tried to be the crazy, funny guy in the house, and he finished second in terms of being brought back. His problem was he didn't look so antisocial, the world wouldn't be there for him.
Now, in California, they got this guy, Frank Compton. His dog got kidnapped, Ronnie.
Is Compton named after Frank Compton?
No.
I know him as Frank South Central.
Compton lives in Stockton, California.
And where's Stockton live?
Stockton must live in Compton. So his little Yorkshire Terrier, Sandy, got kidnapped. Here's this old guy. He's 80 years old. He gets a note saying, if you want to see your dog alive again, bring $10,000 to this park. So he doesn't call the cops because that's part of the conditions. He shows up. Some guy pulls a knife on him, takes his $10,000, says your dog's around here somewhere. He's looking all over the park, can't find his dog, goes home heartbroken, finds his dog, though, in his yard, alive and happy to see him. So he's saying it was worth every bit of the $10,000, which they say is probably most of his life savings. He didn't have much more than that in the bank.
Yeah.
And he said he would do it all over again to get his dog Sandy back.
Well, what do you think the kids in Compton are going to do next week, Stockton? They're going to come and steal your dog and get the rest of your money. This is just basically grabbing the purse off an old lady. It's no different.
Yeah, and I was wondering, you know, if you lost the dog, would it be worth $10,000 to go ahead and get your pet back?
Well, I think the only difference is the guy was 80. I don't think a guy 30 would ever pay to get his dog back. A guy 40, a guy 50, a guy 60. By 80, you're like, this is my only friend. I'm not going to spend this money anyway. I'd rather have my dog. All he had to do was call the cops. The cops would have beat the hell out of the guy who tried to get $10,000 off an old man. That's terrible.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was all that elaborate of a plan, where they couldn't have cracked the case pretty quick. And, of course, the dog was already back home as well.
Hey, Humble wrote in that Last Comic Standing didn't help anybody's career. That fan was on Tech TV doing some kind of video special. It helped Voss. Voss suddenly became a big headliner all over the country after all those years of fighting it. So Voss's money went way up after he did Last Comic Standing. All you got to do in this country is get on TV and people will show up to see you do something.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of Dat Fan's prizes, like his Comedy Central special. I never saw that come up.
Yeah.
And I never saw any sort of TV development thing.
Well, the development deal doesn't necessarily mean your show's going to get on. What that means is they pay you to go out, try out for pilots. And a lot of people get development deals and hold them sometimes for 10, 15 years. So a lot of comics or actors that you go, hey, whatever happened to that guy? I guess he still could be getting paid $100,000, $150,000 a year, but just to show up, be around, be signed to one company, one network.
That fan should have been like the crazy neighbor on the new Joey show. Just put him on there with Joey Tribbiani.
I do not want to see that fan again for the rest of my life. That's not going to work for me. Fez, you got a cat. Would you pay it if somebody stole your cat?
Yes, I would pay. I would pay $10,000 if someone took Fuzz Watley.
Tell me you're not lying.
No,
Tell me right now.
I would do it. I don't have it, but if I would scrape it together, I would get $10,000 together to save Fuzz.
You got your paperboy money. You got every nickel you've ever made in your life. You're the cheapest person ever. And I was talking to your family about that, too. But I would never pay for somebody to bring back an animal. That would drive me out of my mind.
Even if it was your friend that you've had for years?
If it was my friend, yes, I would pay to get you back. A dog, I would not pay to get back.
I took my kitten to the vet, and she was really sick, and we paid about $1,500 for the vet to work on her that night, and she ended up dying anyway, and I think it was money well spent still.
Well, that's different that you're paying to try to save the pet's life than if somebody stole your pet. I say you call the police, you let it go at that. You don't go walking out in a park with a bag of money like the world's biggest bitch, hand it to somebody for stealing your animal. That would drive me out of my mind. I would go crazy.
If that was the only way to get Fuzz Watley back, I would do it.
I would show up maybe with a bag and shoot that person in the knee before I handed anybody a dime for stealing my animal. I can't believe anybody would sit there and pay money. I understand maybe if you had a prize horse. All right, I'm going to go in that direction. I'm not saying I wouldn't pay to get Seabiscuit back because that's something to make money off of. A pet is supposed to bring you happiness, right?
Yes.
Then how does handing $10,000 to a bad person give you even the slightest bit of happiness? You drive me crazy, Fez. Dubs, you even drive me crazier. Money well spent. 866-277-4969. 866-277-4969. I can't imagine one man in America who would show up with kidnapping money for somebody who stole their dog or cat.
I would do it. And I agree with Frank Compton, who said Sandy the dog would do the same for me if he could.
What dog? When Sandy Compton dies and nobody comes over to the house, that dog will eat his face. That's what pets do.
He's Frank. Sandy's the dog.
What's the difference? The point is this. That dog will eat his face. Tucker, you're on Ron and Fez.
How you doing, guys? 6011 reporting for duty.
Hooah!
Hooah! Listen, I know it's a couple of minutes ago you were talking about Last Comic Standing. I think I have proof.
Ups, I lost you, bro. Give us a call back. Here's Gary. Here's Paul. Paul, oops, we lost you, too. Something's going on with the phones here. Let's try Gary now. Gary, you're on the air.
Yes, Fez, this is the furniture store, and we're going to make our delivery tonight. We need your address, and is your cat home?
You see that, Fez? Now you're setting yourself up. You know what? Go steal his cat and get $10,000.
Do not steal my cat.
Here's Bill. Bill, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
And I'm not expecting any furniture.
How you doing? You there?
Good,
yeah.
buddy.
Go ahead, pal.
Okay. My wife had an old Pomeranian, one of the Pomeranian, one of the little small dogs with a curly tail.
Yeah.
Sick, blind, always ran out. I had to go look for it. One of these days, one day, a neighbor of ours came over to invite us to a birthday party. The door was open. The dog slipped out. Gone for a day. 2 days later, they called the vet was a tag to the collar, said, "How dare you let your dog go on?" And kept it. Never saw the dog again.
That's awful.
I know. I mean, the dog it was old, it was blind, but I mean, she never even wanted to give it. My wife is going, "Oh, thank you for calling." She goes, "No, you can't have it," and never heard from her again.
Bill, would you ever pay to get your dog back?
Nah, not really.
I can't imagine a man in America doing that, and yet I have two sitting in front of me right now saying that you guys would pay kidnapping money for a dog.
If my Fuzz Whatley got lost, I'll tell you what, you would see his picture everywhere on every lamppost in town. I would be all over the place offering an award.
Well, an award, as you call it, or reward, is the way it's really known.
No, I would give a trophy, like some sort of loving cup.
That is different than saying, Fez, I've got your dog, and if you ever want to see it again, you better show up with $10,000. That guy deserves an ass-kicking at the very least. At the very least. You don't pay somebody for stealing something from you. That's what I don't understand about this story.
When it comes to Fuzz Whatley, when it comes to my cat's life, it's just worth it. I will pay the ransom just to get the cat back safe.
You know what? I feel like drowning your cat just to see the look on your face.
It would be this.
I bet you don't even care. I'm honestly going to believe that you don't care. Hey, Bill, you're on Ron and Fez.
This is the pizza man. Fez, we need to deliver your pizzas. I'll need your address. And is your cat home?
You see that, Fez?
My cat is home. Leave the pizzas on the stoop like you usually do.
You have become a bug light for kidnappers. By saying you would pay out kidnapping money, you've put your cat in jeopardy.
I just agree with this old man in California. It's worth your entire life savings if you can get your friend back.
Why don't you do this, since you got this entire life savings? Why don't you buy a round one time? Why are you sitting there acting like you got short arms every time it's time to pay a check?
I wish I could. It hurts my feelings that I can't.
Jim, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ron, have you ever heard of the Lindbergh Poodle?
Thank you very much. It's the Lindbergh Poodle. No, America would not cry why a poodle was taken, Fez. I appreciate it, Jim.
I bet the Lindberghs would do anything to get that French poodle back.
I'd bury it. I'd bury it alive.
That's awful.
You see the awful story as somebody stealing a dog. To me, the awful story is somebody took advantage of a poor old man who should have called the cops immediately. And if he would never have had to pay out a dime because the cops would have snatched this guy. It can't, and this has got to be somebody he knows. You know what I mean? This is a neighbor. This is the paper boy. This is probably a nephew who knows how much money this guy had and went after it and took it. That's the sad part of the story.
It's so sad. I hate to see old people get intimidated like that and taken advantage of. But I think he did the right thing in getting his dog back. That's all that mattered to him. The money didn't matter to him. Just getting Sandy back home. Sandy Compton.
The dogs don't have last names, Fez.
Well, this one probably does.
No dog.
He loves him so much.
No dog has a last name.
My cat has Fuzz Whatley.
So does Crazy Jen. What's the difference? Not one of you can call it a real last name. That's the problem with all three of you. I like to put the three of you on some stupid reality show. Just put you in a rowboat, tape a camera to the front, and that's the whole show.
Please do not put me on rowboat reality.
Here's Kenny, you're on Ron and Fez.
I got an idea. Instead of paying off the kidnappers, you announce to the world that you will give the $10,000 to the people who find the kidnappers. That could be a movie.
There you go, Fez. That's what you're going to do. Instead of paying off the kidnappers, you put a bounty on the kidnapper's head and say, this is how I'm spending my money. Now, every lunatic bounty hunter in the Two Pines area will be out looking for this dog napper. And it's not a kidnapper if you're just taking a cat or a dog. I'm even uncomfortable with a man owning the cat. I got to tell you the truth.
We get along great, me and my cat. It's a perfect pet for me.
We're not doing her live spot. You really don't even have a cat. But what I'm trying to say is this. I'm not comfortable with a man owning a feline. It's too feminine. You like cats too, J-Dubs?
Yeah, I have one, Sadie Lou Johnson.
Yeah, and you're also a claymate. You follow Clay Aiken around.
Yes, I know it all makes me suspect, but I swear I'm straight.
No, suspect is the way you make googly eyes at El Jefe. The rest of it I can deal with.
Did you pick up El Jefe at the airport holding flowers?
No, holding his frog.
You do seem like in a much better mood now that he's back, because you were cranky last week.
Was I?
Yeah.
I felt great last week.
El Jefe ought to put $10,000 out on you for killing his 3 fish while he was gone.
That happened 45 minutes after you left. I claim no responsibility.
Yeah, they were bass. So what's the big deal? Yeah, I have trout.
Should never have kept him in the toilet.
Kevin, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys, I just to say, if you wanted to pass the hat, I'd be willing to kick in some money to get the old man his money back. I mean, I saw that story, and I thought it was just absolutely horrible.
Well, yeah, call out there. I don't want to sit around and give this. I mean, to me, I'm not going to give a guy money who's going to give it away again tomorrow.
Well, maybe he won't.
I'm sure it's going to happen.
Come on. They took his life savings, poor guy.
And they will again tomorrow if you give him more. If anything, I'd collect the hat to send him into a home. Because nobody who's got their facilities is going to give out $10,000, their life savings, to get a mangy pooch back.
That would just kill him. They wouldn't let Sandy in the home.
Yeah.
Come on, Fez, what do you think?
The Calaveras County Sheriff.
How much would you put up, Fez, along with this guy? Why don't you put up $5,000? Kevin will put up $5,000, and this won't be a sad story anymore.
$5,000? I don't have $5,000.
Yes, you do. Anything I find in your bank account above $5,000, I'll take.
Come on, you can collect.
You shouldn't have those numbers.
Believe me, I know just from being able to do it in my head. I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm sure if you called the Zoo Show, they would collect money for this guy. I don't see the purpose.
Okay, well.
All right, call over Arrow.
Idea.
That's the type of stuff they love to do. They like to have food drives and all that kind of stuff.
866-277-4969.
We'll take a break here. When we get back, Crazy Jen, the reality show star, or maybe, possibly, Hope, will be here in just a few moments. We'll be right back. It's Ron and Fez.